Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for iFive for the iPhone is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
This episode of iFive for the iPhone is brought to you by Rackspace, the open cloud company. At Rackspace, build what you want, where you want, and how you want, all backed by their world-renowned fanatical support. Try it today. Download the open cloud at rackspace.com/open. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 33 of iFive for the iPhone, which means it's a palindrome episode, which means it's going to be a really good one. I'm Sarah Lane. It's time to pick 5 of the best iPhone apps, news, tips, and tricks, and pass them along to you. Ready? All right, let's do it. Number 1. Okay, it's been a few weeks since we talked about the weather here on iFive. Too many weather apps, but spring has sprung around these parts, and I found an app called Haze that tackles the weather in a cool way, and I think we gotta talk about it. I think you're gonna like it. So here's what you do. You can swipe left or right to toggle through things like temperature, sunshine hours, chance of rain. You click the little center bubble for more information on each page about humidity levels and when the sun's going to set, all that good stuff. An animation theme in the background will be trending either up or down to indicate if tomorrow will be warmer or cooler. Do you see that? Do you see that animation? Very creative. You can swipe down to look ahead to a 5-day forecast, or swipe down a little farther to access your settings. They're hidden up there, but it's the nice UI. You can switch between Fahrenheit and Celsius, of course, and so on. Haze is great. It's easy to use, it's really nice looking, and for $1.99 in the App Store, it makes pretty dry statistics. See what I did there? Dry? Kind of fun to check out regularly. The only thing that's lacking is saving multiple locations, which I tend to like, if I'm traveling or whatever. Haze is all about the weather based on where you are right now. Numero 2. Got an email from Steven who writes, "Dear Sarah, I was wondering if you could review an app called Lemon Wallet. I like the idea of not having to carry my rewards or credit cards around, but is this app safe?" All right, well, let's take a look, shall we? So Lemon Wallet is basically your wallet in the cloud. You store a digital copy of all of the cards that you need on a regular basis so that you always have a backup if you lose a card or your wallet is stolen or misplaced. Lemon Wallet says it's safer than your physical wallet because all your data is encrypted and your cards are safe behind a PIN of your choice. To store your cards, you just take a picture of each one. I did it a few times. It's really easy. That's credit cards or my ID or insurance cards, rewards cards, everything. If you need to enter any information manually, Lemon Wallet lets you do that too. It's pretty easy. You can also scan receipts that you want to keep track of for maybe work or tax purposes and then send to a variety of services like Expensify, Evernote, or Box. You can also add cards to Passbook straight from Lemon Wallet. Now, the app is free, but some features are limited. For $5 a month or $40 a year, if you really like Lemon Wallet, you can also get some extra goodies like lost wallet service. So let's say your wallet is lost or stolen. The agents who work for Lemon, customer service agents, will cancel and replace all of your cards for you. That's a good convenience. So Steven's question, though, is whether or not Lemon Wallet is safe to use. Assuming you trust the company's encryption, and I don't think there's any reason not to, I think the answer is probably yes. It's a great organizational tool, but I'm not sure how much this is going to help me in everyday life. At the gas station, I still need to swipe my physical debit card to actually get gas. At the grocery checkout, I still need to swipe my physical whatever card. And how often am I really going to get my purse stolen and have to replace all my cards? I mean, hopefully the answer is never, but realistically, at least probably very infrequently. We're just not quite ready to completely ditch our wallets yet. That's the real problem. So Lemon Wallet seems to be at least a bridge. It's a step in the right direction. Number 3. Rich in Westbury, New York, wrote in with a little tip for prolific Twitter users who need to keep things short and sweet. He writes, shortcuts are great to save time when texting, but they can also be great when tweeting. Many times when tweeting, you have something to say that's more than 140 characters, and you have to find ways to shorten that message. Shortcuts in iOS can work to shorten things you type as well as to lengthen them. So for instance, when I type sorry, it'll automatically turn into SRY. That is a good tip, Richard. I hadn't really thought about how shortcuts could keep us all more concise on Twitter as well. Although SRY makes a lot more sense in a tweet than it does in an email. And an iOS shortcut is system-wide. So I think you really have to choose your shortened words correctly, or your friends are going to worry that you've got some weird fear of vowels. So everybody wants to talk about cloud computing these days. You know they do. In fact, you might be doing it too. But all cloud providers are not created equal. In fact, some use proprietary technology, which is fine and good until you want to move your data. Then it's expensive and it's complicated. What you want is an open cloud solution built on open standards. That's the key. Rackspace is the open cloud company that was co-founded on OpenStack and now runs the world's largest open cloud. What does that mean? It means you're not locked into anybody. No single provider for you. You have the freedom to move your apps around, code and websites between multiple OpenStack-based clouds, public or private, on-premise or hosted. You build what you want, you build it where you want and how you want, and it's all backed by their world-renowned fanatical support. You want to try Rackspace today. Download the Open Cloud at rackspace.com/open. That's rackspace.com/open, and we thank Rackspace so much for their support of iFive for the iPhone. Number 4, calling all food lovers. Calling all food lovers, you know you're out there. I've got an app for you, and it's called Evernote Food, made by our friends at Evernote, not surprisingly. And similar to Evernote itself, because it's good for clipping and saving, but it's focused completely on eating, which is a dream app for me. Leo and I have covered Evernote Food on my other show, iPad Today, but it works really nicely on an iPhone too. You can explore recipes from blogs all over the internet, a ton of food blogs, or search for specific dishes, and then save the stuff you want to come back to for later. If you're really in the mood for chicken, you can go nuts seeing all the chicken recipes online. Now, when you do come back to it, it's all going to be saved in your cookbook. By the way, if you've already been saving recipes in Evernote itself, you can link up notebooks to show here as well. But that's not all. Maybe you don't do as much cooking as you do eating out. So you can save your favorite places or future places, restaurants, cafes, bars, all that stuff, in the Restaurants tab. If you want to get specific on a dish, something that you loved maybe, and you want to remember what you loved about it, you can save that information in your Meals area. Add notes, photos, tags, anything. Evernote Food is more than you could ever want in a food organization app. It's free, so if you're anything like me, and you spend most of your waking life either eating, thinking about eating, or planning where to eat next, this is your app. Finally, number 5. Last year, you might recall that Apple released its own app to organize and watch and listen to podcasts and called it the Podcasts app. And everyone hated it. Syncing didn't really work. The order of episodes was messed up. It was half-baked. It was just a bad product. Well, last week, we got a nice big update to the podcast app, and a lot has been fixed. Now, you can create custom stations of your favorite podcasts that automatically update with new episodes. That's something that didn't work very well before. You can choose either newest or oldest unplayed episode in the order that you want. All your stations are now stored in iCloud. That means that everything's in sync on all of your iDevices. That's helpful. Playlists that are synced from iTunes now show up in the podcast app as well. A lot of folks are also praising the redesign of the Now Playing page. It's just simplified. The playback controls make more sense. Now, I still recommend Downcast. That's my podcast app of choice. But now that Apple's own podcast app is better, I'm going to go ahead and give it another try. If you're happier with the podcast app, or if you're not, if there's something that's still glaringly missing, do let us know at iFive@twit.tv. Thanks everybody for watching this episode of iFive. If you'd like to auto-download the show every week, just hit that subscribe button at twit.tv/iFive. That's where you can catch up on past episodes and find links to our featured apps, our tips, and our tricks too. Email us questions, tips, and app ideas to iFive@twit.tv. Leave us a voicemail at 614 on iFive, or send us a video with an app review of your own. I'm Sarah Lane, and I'll see you right here next week on iFive for the iPhone.